Holy Mary, Mother of God. Look at that.
God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're at Cauldron Point and what appears to be a pirate ship.
You ever been on a pirate ship?
No.
Yeah, you were on my birthday.
I have. Oh, yeah. We were on the ship from Master and Commander.
What's your favorite part about the scene in the Goonies? My favorite part is when Sloth and Chunk, right before they slide down the sails, and then like Sloth screams out,
oh, yeah. Hey, you guys.
And welcome back to Sloth Love Chunk, your favorite Goonies Super-Fan podcast. I'm your host, Ants.
And I'm Matt. Sorry.
Quit checking your texts, dude.
Sorry.
I can see you with your phone in your face.
Oh, you did? Sorry, it was very important. Anyway.
And on this episode of Sloth Love Chunk, Matthew and I are going to talk about, man, I can't say, I was going to say the greatest movie prop, but I did that. The greatest movie set in cinematic history.
Yes.
The Inferno. But before we get started, as always, find us at slothlovechunk.com, Instagram at slothlovechunk _pod. I don't know anymore. It's been so long. Or just email us at goondocs at slothlovechunk.com. Oh, we got through that, Matthew. I feel like I rushed it, but I remembered everything. All right, Betty boy. Give me your boat.
My boat knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to edit this a lot because I'm going to just like stumble through these facts. A little history on our ship, the Inferno. It was actually based on an actual ship. There's probably a lot of contention as to which ship it was inspired by, but in my research, I found that it was based on a ship called the Santo Cristo de Burgos, which crashed off the Pacific coast in 1693. It's also known as the Beeswax wreck.
How did it get on the Pacific coast?
So according to a couple of articles I read, it was a typical trade route that went from the Philippines to Acapulco, Mexico. And I'm not a geography student, so I still don't see how that goes, but that's the route it was taken, supposedly, and it was carrying Spanish beeswax.
Imagine when, like, beeswax was, like, the shit, you know?
Yeah, because, there wasn't any bees in the Americas at that time.
No, what? No.
And, there wasn't? That's why it was shipped?
Baloney.
Maybe not
No,
in Mexico.
No. There's no way in hell there were no bees in North America.
Well, they weren't cultivating the wax, probably. They hadn't figured it out.
Maybe they only wanted, like, Spanish beeswax because they were racist against North American beeswax.
Well, the killer bees in the South probably killed everybody. Anyway, the reason the whole search got kicked off back in June of 2022. There was a beachcomber by the name of Craig Andy, and he was like a self-described Goonies kid. And he was just kind of cruising along the beach, and he found these timbers that he believed to be part of an ancient ship. Like, it wasn't like he just decided, oh, these timbers are from a ship. There was like local oral stories from all the way back to like since like the 1700s, the like local Indian tribes had described witnessing the shipwreck, and they even described crew members coming ashore with unknown fates for each of them. Anyway, so those stories kind of gained in traction. And so like in 19th century newspapers, all these stories just started cropping up about like fantastical treasure and shipwreck, and all the locals got really excited about it. And so that kind of trickled throughout the years of the locals in search of, rich stuff. And I guess he was one of them. And it really gained traction among, so this group called MAS, which is the Maritime Archaeology Society, along with like local sheriff's departments and archaeologists from the Oregon Parks and Rec, like, put together this big search. And they went to these like really hard access caves, and they found these timbers in there, and they dated them. And there was kind of a debate if it was either the ship that I mentioned,
De Burgos.
Santo Cristo de Burgos. It was a toss-up between that ship, which had, according to like naval archives, had crashed in. Well, according to the archives, it burned off the west coast of Americas in 1693. And then there was the San Francisco Javier, which had crashed in 1705. And based on like extensive research by MAS and other interested parties, they kind of combed through Spanish naval archives, and they determined that it was the Santo Cristo de Burgos that was the winner of the search for the famous beeswax wreck.
That's crazy because Acapulco is not even close to that area,
I know. I'm not sure how they figured out those trade routes.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, whatever. Not buying your bullshit stories, Matt.
And 50, they would have had them archived, except 50 Iranian terrorists showed up and stole all of their research. And they had a mission had to be, had to go and recover them.
Yeah. Nice story,
anyway,
bro.
So, according to the two sources I found, the articles on the Washington Post and Nat Geo, that's what inspired our boy Spielberg to write the story. And the timbers can actually be found at the Columbia River Maritime Museum in Astoria.
Really?
Yeah, they're over there. Yeah, and it's crazy that it was only in 2022 that these timbers were found, because I don't know, I just kind of assumed that they would have been found a lot earlier.
It also kind of crazy. It's just like a couple pieces of wood.
Yeah. No, they also found on the National Geographic website, they have the beeswax, like the solidified chunks of beeswax with like the Spanish like stamp on it.
Really?
And there's like the Chinese porcelain pieces.
Did you sign up for accounts for National Geographic and Washington Post so you could read those articles?
I did. Yeah.
Did you cancel? Did you cancel your?
No. Well, there's only $4 each.
Are you gonna start getting magazines in the mail?
No, I don't know. I hope so.
I wouldn't mind getting National Geographics.
Like some topless tribes women, maybe.
That never worked for me when I was a young man.
No.
I don't know. It was the JCPenney lingerie section.
I think it's cool though that I don't know how much credit they're giving to that Craig Andes guy exactly, but he was kind of in a ragtag group of beachcombers, and he was the one who was like responsible for notifying MAS and all the other like government bodies that started the search.
He was on a Goonies adventure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's pretty cool, man.
And like the search continues to this day, like for more wreckage. And their big hope is that they'll find a cannon somewhere on the ocean floor or something. Yeah. So what do you got on our famous ship?
I think that perhaps your San Cristobal de los Burgos or whatever is probably maybe the general inspiration for pirate ship wreck. But the actual design of One-Eyed Willie's, what do you call it, a galleon?
Yeah, that's the technical term for that kind of ship. It's a Spanish galleon.
So the design of that boat, the actual scene boat, was based off of Errol Flynn's boat from Captain Blood.
Oh, yeah.
It was called the Seahawk. I believe. And that's the movie that's playing.
And the sail thing?
Yeah, when Sloth and Chunk are in chains in the Lighthouse Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
And they show the Errol Flynn movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's Captain Blood. And the Inferno design is based off of that boat.
What does he say? Something me hearties? I've asked me hearties. And then he does the ding, 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 ding.
Oh my God, now that you're doing that music, I watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with the family like a week ago. And the music is a total Goonies ripoff.
No.
Yeah, I was kind of falling asleep on the floor. That's what I do every time I watch a movie. But like I woke up and I was like, that's the Goonies music. But it was not the Goonies. It was James Horner ripping off the Goonies for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
What a hack.
Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, dude. So let's talk about the actual boat. The actual building of the set, which is probably going to go down in history as one of the greatest sets ever built. At the time, before the movie even came out, it was famous just from word of mouth, like how amazing the set was.
Really?
Yeah. All the pictures that we see of like when Michael Jackson visited the Goonies set, it's because he went to see the boat. Harrison Ford was on set because he went to go see the boat. Right?
Dang.
Like it was an amazing thing. It was a full-blown pirate ship. It was not...
So like, in cinematic history, our bias aside, it was an actual like achievement that goes down in cinema lore.
Yes. So the cool thing about the Goonies boat, this is where it gets kind of hard for me with this episode because I didn't really know how to like organize the structure of this because the boat itself is amazing, but then you also have to look at the stage that the boat was built on. And because it's such a huge set. So to give you an idea of how big the boat itself was, it was 138 feet long. It was 42 feet from the bottom of the water to the highest point on the rear deck. Was that aft on a boat?
I think you're right. Yeah.
And the masts went all the way to the rafters of this stage, which is a 65-foot high stage. So the stage is stage 16 on Warner Brothers lot. It's world famous. It's like the second largest filming stage in the world. But what's cool about stage 16 is that, number one, it's ginormous. It's 32,000 square feet. But it can also hold water. And a lot of it.
Yeah?
It can hold 2.3 million gallons of water.
Holy cow.
Like, that's insane, man.
Do you remember why it was originally constructed? Like, for which movie?
Oh, no. That's a good question, Matthew.
Yeah, I wonder which movie, like
which movie, like, why do they need that much water?
Yeah. Jaws, maybe?
Just go look this up, dudes.
Yeah.
Do your own research.
I know. Come on. Don't count on us for everything.
Yeah, so the Warner's Lot, stage 16, it's in the Burbank Studios, which that's where the Warner's Lot is. So yeah, stage 16 was the only stage lot, what do you want to call it? It was the only stage in the world that could hold this. At first, Donner was thinking maybe we'll just do some pieces, set pieces, maybe top of
like a little film in here, a little film in there.
But no, it was our old pal, Michael J. Riva. Remember him, Matthew?
The production designer?
Yes, who created the map. He was the dude that said, no, motherfuckers, we're going to build a whole boat.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, bro. I even have a quote from Donner.
Go on.
Donner says, Michael had it in his mind. Wait, I got to like Donner. Michael had it in his mind, no matter what, that he was going to build a full-scale pirate ship. That was it. And Michael was the kind of guy that wore blinders and delivered the best of the best. Yeah, man. Pour one out again for Michael J. Riva. Passed away 2012 at 63 years old.
Yeah, and pour one out for Anthony's poor Donner impression as well. Because that died on delivery.
Terrible.
Didn't he have like a bit of a Jersey accent?
I don't know.
Like an East Coast kind of.
I got a
Anyway.
girly voice, so I
Yeah.
just can't do those. I
You had to make it
can't
deep.
do those. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I'm hogging it, bro.
No, I got shit else to do.
All right.
I did the history. So you do the modern
So
take.
in stage 16, they started building this boat. Now there's different things I found for how long it took. I found some people say it took 2.5 months. I found others that say it took 6 months to build. And that they were working 24 hours a day. The day shift was building the boat. The night shift was building the cave around it, which is another amazing thing about this set. Because I guess at the time, a lot of rocks and things like that were just built with styrofoam. You know, probably the big boulder on Sloth's back was styrofoam. But everything else in there was made from plaster, which apparently hadn't been done in like 20 years in Hollywood at that time.
Cow. Yeah.
And that there weren't even enough plasterers in the city of Los Angeles to make a cave. Like, what blows my mind is when I watch the Goonies now and you see the Inferno shots, the long shot of the Inferno and the cave, and you just think that this is a matte painting.
Right.
All that is real.
Wow.
Like, all that is really there. Like, that was they built a ginormo cave.
Do you think if Spielberg and Donner hadn't been attached, that they would have gone through that trouble? You know, if it was just some Joe Schmo director and some Joe Schmo producer, they would have said, "Hey, let's just do a big canvas painting." And because it sounds like they put a lot of eggs in that basket from the efforts they took to build
I don't
the
even
ship
want to
and
know
the
how much
cave.
that cost.
Yeah.
Like, they built a whole pirate ship.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and the crazy thing too is like One-Eyed Willie's like trophy room where the scene was shot was in the boat. That wasn't another stage.
Wow.
That's in the boat. When I read that, that blew my mind. Because usually you would think like the Walsh's attic is not in the Goonies house.
Right. It's totally a set. Yeah.
That was on, another sound stage. But One-Eyed Willie's treasure room was actually built inside the boat.
That's crazy. You know, it's funny because I was watching the Goonies just before this, and I was thinking like how crazy it was that they filmed in the house and like just the lighting and sound, how long it took to set that up. And now that you're telling me that his treasure room is the same, like that's crazy how long it would have taken to set all that up.
Yeah, I think too what's interesting even about the Goonies house is that a lot of movies and shows, whenever they're interiors of houses, those are sets so they can take out walls for cameras to be able to position certain angles and things like that.
Yeah.
So to be able to move around in an actual house without having to take down walls and things.
Yeah.
Or to build a whole pirate ship that you're actually going to film inside.
Yeah.
Next level, dude. Michael J.
Yeah, and I mean to think and just the logistics, like it must have had to pass so many safety checks to get all those people and cameras in there,
Oh, it was the 80s. Maybe
yeah. Yeah, just get in there. Hurry up. Do you know, and I don't want to get too ahead or jump subjects, were they actually able to keep it a secret from the kids?
Oh!
You watch that documentary, and I think they mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, that they had known about it or sneaked a peek or something.
It's funny that you say that, Matthew. I have a little clip I'd like to play for you right now. Are you ready?
Okay, go on.
Love with every one of the kids. They knew something was on the stage, but I wouldn't let them see it. And they were devious little buggers. They tried everything. They put on different costumes, believe it or not, and wardrobe to try and walk onto the stage to see what was being built. And all the security on the stage knew. They all had pictures of the kids. Watch this group. Keep it around. And I'm serious. I'd get calls. We caught one of your kids. We caught one of your kids. So the day came, and so we brought the kids in with blindfolds, brought them in the water, and had them face away from where the pirate ship was. And I explained to them, you're going to turn and see something, and it's up to you. Whatever you react to, you will react to. We pulled their blindfolds over, we pushed them underwater, rolled the cameras. They came up, And they stood for a minute looking where they had just come down from. They were good. And they turned into the camera. Every one of those faces told the story. I'm seeing this pirate ship, One-Eyed Willie, for the first time in my life.
Wow.
And it's the most awe-inspiring sight I've ever had. It was magic. It was beautiful.
Oh, God.
Try and do it today. Can't have it. It doesn't exist. It was real. But we had that great moment here on Stage 16 at Warner Brothers that will never be repeated.
Dang. Anthony's eyes just got all watery and big.
I know, dude. I read another interview by Donner about it, basically where he was expressing the same sentiments, like, you can't do this today.
Yeah.
And then he said, if they try to do another one, even though I hope they don't.
Yeah, I know. Even
I'm not going to talk about the news.
Even those articles I read had mentioned it. They said, as they recover more pieces of the Santo de Bargos, will this inspire Spielberg to write that long-awaited sequel? No, please.
Should we do an episode on the Goonies 2 stuff?
No.
Or should we just wait?
Like the rumors and the...
yeah. They got a guy writing the script.
I don't think so.
I think we should wait.
But how funny, what was that? Was that clip from the Blu-ray?
It was like a Warner Brothers. Oh, it was from Warner Brothers Australia.
Oh.
The official site it was YouTube. I totally just stole their stuff. Suck it, Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Whatever. Warner Brothers Australia.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I remember him telling the story I think it was a Blu-ray, but he hadn't mentioned them dressing up and trying to sneak past security. I think that's very funny.
You know what's crazy too? And I tried to really look into this. I spent too much time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know what to believe here. And it kind of strains credulity about the kids not being able to see it because, and I saw one picture where the water slide was in stage 16 too.
Mm-hmm.
It was a real legit water slide. It ran down, I think it was the right side of the stage and then out. So I wonder if they didn't film, how could you have these kids fly down a water slide and shoot out and all this?
Yeah.
And still hide that boat.
Right.
Unless maybe that was filmed out of sequence. Breaking news. This just in from the Goonies 40th anniversary from Astoria, Oregon. Mark Marshall, famous assistant on the Goonies, has said that the water slide was in fact on stage 15, not stage 16 of the Warner Brothers lot. Stage 15 was the water slide. Breaking news from Sloth Love Chunk.
Wow.
It's like an amusement park.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of amusement parks.
Yes.
After the movie was over, they had to destroy the ship. But Donner didn't want to destroy it. So they looked around everywhere for someone to try to buy it. And Six Flags in Texas was going to buy it. And they were going to turn it into a restaurant.
No.
But it ended up being too expensive to transport it. They were going to transport it in pieces and then to get it over there. And it was just not cost effective. So they did not buy it.
Oh, why Texas? It would have been kind of depressing if it was in Texas anyway. So
that's what. Yeah. Why there was a Six Flags up in Ventura?
Yeah.
But
so the ultimate fate was it was destroyed.
It was destroyed.
Do you know if was there any pieces kept for?
Apparently, no. Story is that in the Warner Brothers archives, there are no pieces of the Inferno.
Wow.
No masts. Oh. And another cool piece of info is that all of the rigging and the masts and all that stuff came from Disneyland.
Whoa.
So what is it? The Columbia? Things like the USS Columbia that's on the river there in Disneyland by
Oh,
Mark
yeah.
Twain's Island. What is that called? Adventureland? I don't know.
I think so. Frontierland, something like that.
Yeah. They were replacing the rigging and the masts for their boat. So they got rid of theirs. And the Goonies production crew took all of that from the old Columbia boat and used it for the Inferno. So that's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. And I like to believe it's actually that whole destruction thing was all a lie, and it's actually floating around there somewhere, like at the end of the movie.
I know. It's like the Master and Commander boats floating around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Ugh. What else do I got? Industrial Light and Magic, they built a 5-foot model for the final scene.
For when it's floating away?
Yeah. Holy Mary Mother. Well, folks, appears to be a pirate ship.
See, that was that impression was better than the Donner impression. So you should do that impression. The pirate ship guy.
Give me your best Mikey impression.
Adopted wuss. I'll give you an adopted wuss. I'll show you, Brand.
That's all right. You're not trying to do the voice, though.
No. I can't do that. He didn't have a unique voice.
I'm not going to ask you to do data.
No. I don't think we should do data. Do your best Steph impression.
I feel like I'm babysitting, but I'm not getting paid.
Where's he from? Southern California all of a sudden? Oh my God. I'm babysitting. Yeah.
I gotta go to the bathroom and hit the L bathroom and go to the 401. I feel like I'm babysitting.
Troy. Dang. That's some good
boat.
That's some good knowledge you're kicking, dude. Do you know why they called it the Inferno in any of your research? Why they that name? I wonder why that came from.
That's a good question, Maddie.
Because either, if it was, I think, that Santo something de Margos obviously isn't Inferno.
I wonder if that movie, what is it, Towering Inferno, wasn't like popular at the time. I don't know. I have answers, guys.
Yeah, you can just make some shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the production designer guy had a really bad burrito, and he was on the toilet like, "Ay, mi culo es Inferno." He's like, "Oh, the Inferno." Anthony can relate.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you how.
I don't know, man. I feel like it sucked. I feel like we really gave it short shrift. Is that how it goes? Is it short shrift?
Well, there's not a whole lot of information to, kick
there
around.
There is. There's a lot. Surprisingly, there's a ton of information about Stage 16.
Yeah.
On the Warner's lot.
Yeah, but people aren't here to listen about Stage 16. They want to hear about the Goonies. And we gave it to them.
Gave it to them good.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Maddie.
So what are we going to talk about next time then? We just going to shoot the shit?
We'll just shoot the shit. Let's just talk.
Okay.
All right, Matt. I gotta go. I gotta go to the bathroom, dude.
Okay. Don't take off.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to Sloth Love Chunk, and we will see you sooner than later.
Bye.
Bye.
We didn't do the Goonies oath.
Oh yeah, that's my boy. I did not stop recording. Holy crap, dude! I totally forgot.
I know, we're so rusty at this shit. I have to pull out my book and subject
Why
it to more.
didn't you say it sooner?
Because it just kind of hit me.
Whew. Do you know how close I was to press and stop record?
I know.
All right.
God.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You started off, man. You get the honors because you remembered.
Oh, thank you. I never get to start. I will never betray my Goondock friends.
We will stick together until the whole world ends.
Through heaven and hell and nuclear war.
Good pals like us will stick like tar.
In the city or the country or the forest or the boonies.
I am proudly declared a fellow Goonie.
There, that feels good now.
Holy crap, dude, that would have been terrible.
Yeah, now you can go have your bowel movement. In peace.
Oh, thank you, dude, for remembering that. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I would have felt so bad.
It's okay.
All right, virtual high five.
Wow.
Boosh. All right, Matt.
Hey,
See you
all
soon,
right,
bud.
See ya later.
Mwah.